Maybe hate is too strong of a word. This is the Front Range Gardener with my list of native Colorado trees that are poor choices for your landscape. I have several reasons to dislike these trees. Some I find unattractive. But if beauty is in the eye of the beholder, you might see them differently. Here is my countdown of native Colorado trees that I hate to use in the landscape from 4 down to 1. Plus, one tree I actually changed my mind on. The Douglas fir is one of the great trees of the Pacific Northwest. So what is my number 4 tree doing here in Colorado? I'm here in a small grove of Douglas firs in Cottonwood Canyon State Park. This tree that loves the cool and moist climate of the Pacific Northwest is found on the north-facing canyon wall. Here the fir gets the cool, moist microclimate it prefers. I love this tree. I used to take my children up into the mountains to cut a Douglas fir for our Christmas tree. Here's a shout out to the Front Range daughters. I love you girls. If I love this tree, then why do I hate it for the landscape? This cool and moist canyon wall has few similarities to most Front Range landscapes. Our homes would expose the Douglas fir to the intense Colorado sun. The water requirements to keep it alive would be too prohibitive. Other Colorado native trees are far more suitable for your Front Range landscape. Unless you have a beaver pond on your property, my number 3 tree is a poor choice for Front Range landscapes. The Cottonwood grows primarily in riparian settings between 3,500 and 6,500 feet in elevation. These cottonwoods thrive along the banks of Plum Creek here in Chatfield State Park. Being a riparian tree, the cottonwood draws a lot of water. This alone makes it a poor choice for the vast majority of Front Range landscapes. Another reason that it is poorly suited for your landscape is that it is a very messy tree. Cottonwoods get their name from the cottony seeds that the female trees release into the air, typically in June. Those seeds blow all over the neighborhood. As a deciduous tree, it drops a ton of leaves in fall. Cottonwoods are a short-lived tree, maybe reaching 100 years. Well before that, large branches in the inner core may die back. This makes the tree look half dead. These dead branches pose a hazard as they are prone to fall. Cottonwoods aren't all bad. They're a terrific shade tree for the eastern plains. Leave the cottonwood for the beavers and the riverbeds. Plant something well-behaved in your landscape. My number 2 most hated native tree is the Gambel Oak, which is derisively called scrub oak by many. Mrs. Front Range Gardener wanted Gambel Oak to be my most hated tree. If you think that Mrs. Front Range Gardener should make her own list, encourage her in the comments below. Gambel Oak is found throughout southern and western Colorado. In the Front Range, it grows south of Denver at elevations between 6,000 and 9,000 feet. The oak grows in thickets of small trees. It commonly grows 10 to 20 feet tall. Rarely is it found as a solo tree and is not very attractive when found that way. The acorns can be a valuable source of food for wildlife. While it can grow from seed, more often Gambel oaks send up shoots from their root systems. This behavior allows them to repopulate rapidly after a wildfire. This same behavior makes it difficult to completely eradicate a thicket. A thicket of Gambel Oak is dense with leaves. The leaves blow widely in the fall winds. Cleaning up after the oaks is quite a chore. Usually I can find something positive to say about any native tree. I'm hard-pressed to find anything good to say about the Gambel Oak. Before I get to my number one most hated native tree, I want to tell you about a tree that I was originally going to include on this list, but I changed my mind. I let my dislike for shrub forms of juniper to cloud my judgment. This bias almost led me to include the Rocky Mountain juniper on my list of native trees I hate. But then J. Stubbs 1355 commented that it was one of his favorite trees. I started looking at them closely and thought, those are actually really handsome trees. The Rocky Mountain juniper grows widely in the Front Range north of Colorado Springs at elevations above 5,000 feet. It is very drought tolerant once established. There are a wide variety of interesting cultivars available at your local nursery. Here are some that I found at Pine Lane Nursery in Parker: Moonglow juniper, Medora juniper, and Wichita blue. The Rocky Mountain juniper has a pleasing rounded shape and dense foliage. Mature plants may grow to 10 to 20 feet in the landscape. Are there any downsides to this handsome tree? In a word, flammable. All junipers have a resin which combusts easily. If you landscape in an area where wildfires are a concern, avoid planting junipers within 30 feet of your home or other structures. With the Rocky Mountain juniper out of the way, can you guess what my most hated native Colorado landscape tree is? The most popular video on my YouTube channel is Don't Plant Aspens. It's only fitting that my number one most hated tree for Front Range landscapes is the aspen. Don't get me wrong, I love the aspen in its native environment. It forms spectacular groves in nature that turn a golden yellow in fall. The problem is that Colorado's urban environments are very different from the high Rocky Mountains. Aspens adapt poorly to our landscapes. Aspens by nature are fast-growing but short-lived trees. This isn't a problem in a large grove where new shoots rapidly replace mature trees. In the landscape, aspens may only live 20 years. My aspen is 25 years old, and you can see branches and trunks that are already dying. Mrs. Front Range Gardener wants it gone now. And speaking of shoots, aspens are highly invasive. The very characteristic that forms large groves is a nightmare in the landscape. Aspens send up shoots from their root systems far from the parent tree. But at least they are beautiful in fall, right? Unfortunately, no. In the high country, cold September nights trigger the aspens to turn color. In the Front Range, September nights are much too warm. Usually leaves stay green until the first hard frost turns them brown and they drop. And boy, do they drop. Aspens create quite a mess in fall when the leaves drop, but also when they spread their seeds in spring. Save yourself the headaches of growing aspens. Visit them in the high country instead. That concludes my list of Colorado native trees that I hate for the landscape. If you are tired of this negativity, watch my video of my favorite Colorado native trees. However, if you plant one of these trees I hate, you may have unhappy gardening.